Greetings. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mushtaq Memon, Professor Emeritus from Washington State University. Today's video is focused on enhancing food security in Mali, cattle reproduction training for development. Mali is in West Africa, former French colony. As you can see in this picture, it interestingly borders with 7 different countries. And it was a voluntary assignment, and the visit arrangements from the United States were made by our NGO, We Empower. And I have a website listed there, so if you are curious about it, I invite you to visit that website. Our host in Mali was our partner NGO, EDICOM. And again, their website is there, even though it's in French, but there is an option they could search in English to see what kind of work they do. And the training location was in the National Center for Artificial Insemination of Animals. It's a national center organized by the central government of Mali, and their website is also there too for you to visit, those of you who want to know more about it. So the day we arrived there, we were welcomed by our local NGO, EDICOM, and we went to visit their office and had a series of meetings to really finalize our visit schedule, what we were going to do. It was about over 1 week assignment to accomplish a few things here. So in a way, we ran this training was that our attendees, which were already selected, and there were a combination of various levels of the education and background. Some of the center officers or the veterinarians were highly educated. In fact, some of them had a PhD from some European countries. And the participants and attendees were, some of them were veterinarians, others were very experienced county-type animal providers, the livestock services providers. Some were senior artificial insemination technicians. So I was trying to find that happy medium so that I can provide information which is useful across the board. So in the morning time, I had a series of presentations where I discussed the basic concept of reproductive physiology and what goes on with the estrous cycle, how the cows come in cycle and how they are ready to be bred, and so on and so forth. And then in the afternoon, we had hands-on laboratories there on the center, which were primarily bringing reproductive tracts, which they already collected from the local slaughterhouses. So whatever I showed them in pictures during my presentations, they were able to see on the reproductive tracts how the ovaries look like, what they are going to be feeling once they start doing this work, and then how those ovarian findings relate to the uterus and the cyclicity. And the second part was to allow them to pass pipettes through the cervix and in the uterus to do artificial insemination. So these attendees had plenty of opportunities. By the way, my presentations were obviously given in English because I don't know French. But our NGO president, you could see on the right-hand side in the middle, she is the president of our We Empower. Not only does she knows English, French, but she's an Algerian-born lady, extremely competent. So she was translating all my lectures and discussions. So here, a gentleman is obviously asking some questions. She's translating, so we carry on that conversation in that way. But then these folks had their own opportunity too to converse and try to compare their notes, so to speak, what they do in their areas and what needs to be done and what other people gave them their opinion. Then we went on the farm, and this big area called Kassela. There are multiple farms there. So this farm the farm owner was already informed and agreed upon for us to visit with all our trainees. And as you can see on the right-hand side in green colored clothes in the middle is the owner of the farm, very hospitable, very nice gentleman. He brought all his cows who had problem getting pregnant. So unfortunately, there were 2-3 cows there which had some chronic problems. I remember, I think one cow had pyometra, some other had some cystic ovaries. So we discussed in detail what those were, and then they were also sharing their local remedies, which they have been trying without calling veterinarians there. And then, I did the best I could to try to, share with them my experiences and the remedies with some of those problems. Then in Kassela area, there were some other farms that we visited, and it was really a nice experience for our attendees too. So some of them had, as I said, opportunities to check those cows, and others had their own experiences seeing those problems in cattle. So we discussed quite a bit on various topics, and it was a very, I think, good experience for everybody. And then this farm was very interesting. There's a gentleman who was very active, also a local, almost like a community leader. And he was very determined to convince me that their conception rate was about 70-80% in those cows, which was obviously not possible. And so I insisted that I like to see their records, where they write it down. So he brought this register on the right-hand side, as you can see. We tried to pinpoint some of those cows that he thought were pregnant. To cut long story short, very quickly, we all realized that those records were not properly maintained. So I think it was very good, part of the discussion also for our trainees to emphasize on record keeping. So it was a very interesting experience. So this gentleman was also involved with the local milk collection center. So he invited us, and we went there, and I was very curious to find out if they were doing any quality milk testing, which I think not done. And they were just measuring the special gravity and the total solids, not fat, in the milk, and that's about it. So, but their milk records were written and then posted on the walls that you can see on the left-hand side, which were there for people to see how much milk they brought in. And along the way of driving to different dairy farms, we just couldn't help but to stop at the roadside markets. Happened to be a mango season. So these local farmers and these young ladies were trying to sell mangoes to us. We bought some. And it just happened to be my also favorite fruit. So it was a very enjoyable experience to talk with these local farmers. And we were also fortunate to have a trade show in Bamako, the capital of Mali. So we went there with all our trainees and tried to check out what was going on. And it was very much involved with animal agriculture exhibits. So I was obviously attracted to Livestock Pavilion. I'm so glad that I went there because I saw some best livestock in the country, in Mali. Very impressed I was. As you can see on the right-hand side, these are the bulls, and you could see the hump on these animals. It's definitely a zebu background animals. And not only the cattle, but you can see on right left-hand side there a picture of goats. Goats, sheep, you name it. Very, very good quality livestock. So I was very optimistic about the future of livestock production in Mali after visiting this trade show. Back to Kassela. These farmers make me really feel welcome. As you can see in this group picture, we have the attendees and the gentleman, owner of this farm, which I mentioned earlier, in green clothes, sitting just behind me. So I would go even so far to say that they really make me feel at home. And we look forward to working with them more. So at the end of this assignment, our local NGO president, Mr. Al Hassan, and our We Empower president, Ms. Nubia Gravy, signed their MOU for our future collaboration. As I speak, we are in the process of applying for some grants to go to Mali. So with that, I'm going to stop this video, and I look forward to sharing with you more information and my experiences around the globe. Until then, I wish you well and goodbye.